Hey y'all, welcome to or back to Growth Rising. I'm Bird, and on this channel, we just talk about all things dealing with astrology. So we went over several of the planets in the birth chart, and so today we're going to start with Jupiter. So Jupiter is about freedom and optimism and luck and expansion and overdoing, and the prophet. That's Jupiterian things. And so we're going to focus more on Jupiter in Aries in your natal chart today because at the time of the video, Jupiter is in Cancer. But, in a couple of videos, we're going to get to those people who are currently going through a Jupiter return. So, how you can find where your Jupiter placement is, you can go to Google and type in free birth chart calculator, or just go to AstroSeek, Astro Cafe, something to get you a birth chart. And you'll be able to put in your birth day, time, and place. And that'll let you see where you have Jupiter, what sign it's in, and what house as well. So if you do all of that and you see that you have Jupiter in Aries, you're probably a strong-willed person and possibly also courageous. But also, I do just want to say that with Jupiter being in Aries, Aries is ruled by Mars. So you also have to see where Mars is placed at, because if Mars is in a sign that it is not comfortable in, it's going to affect the way that Jupiter is in Aries, as well as looking to see if the planet is direct or retrograde. So, back to Jupiter and Aries. You're probably also open to trying new things, not necessarily stuck in doing things one way. Like, oh, I got to do it this way because this is the only way that makes sense. No, it's like, okay, does seem like something new? I'm going to try it. But you also got to remember to slow down sometimes and not to move too fast, because your Jupiter is in Aries and Aries is about action. But, slow down just a little bit sometimes. You can be a very determined person. So once you start something, it's not like you're gonna be like, oh, it didn't work, now I'm gonna give up. No, that's not really how you are. It'll be more like, okay, I didn't get it this time. Let me try it a different way, or let me go about it this at this time of day or whatever. You're gonna try to find different ways to get whatever goal that you have in mind done. You're gonna achieve it one way or the other. And you can find more luck when you take responsibility for yourself instead of just placing blame on everybody else. You know, you know what has to be done or what has been done, and you own up to it. It is what it is, because you can't change it, and you can't just always throw it off on somebody else. Another thing that will be good for the Jupiter and Aries people is to take initiative. Because for one, Aries is a cardinal sign. It's about starting things, doing things. Aries does not like to sit still. So with Jupiter and Aries, you can find a lot of good things happening if you take initiative, you take that first step. But also remember, sometimes you do have to think a little bit first. I know that Aries is not necessarily the sign that wants to meditate on something or think too long about something before actually doing it. But sometimes that can be kind of helpful. And with these people who have Jupiter and Aries, they can be very independent. They don't want your help. Don't try to bother them too much when they want to do something and they want to do it by themselves. Let them. And also they're a go-getter. So, taking initiative, being a go-getter, all of that ties together, which is pretty good for a Jupiter and Aries person. Sometimes these people can come off as overly confident, like they believe too much in themselves, that it might come off like a little cocky. But it's not that they're trying to be cocky. It's just that they're like, I'm feeling myself and I don't see anything wrong with that. And they will try to solve a lot of things with force. You know how sometimes you can be around somebody and you might just want to vent to them about whatever problems that's going on. And they might have a vent session with you and, let you cry it out. And that's not Jupiter and Aries. Jupiter and Aries is more like, okay, so what do we need to do to get this issue resolved? Sometimes it might be a little too forceful to where it might be coming off violently. because they really want to get whatever it is solved. Like, okay, this is the problem. That is the solution. We need to get from here to there, like yesterday. So that's just a Jupiter and Aries type of thinking because they don't want to wallow in whatever the problem is. They want to go ahead and get to the solution because it's like, what's the purpose of staying right here in the issue anyway? And also Jupiter can be ugh, I cannot find my words, but Jupiter itself can have something to do with your spouse or your significant other. It can show what type of person that they will be because traditionally it's like um, Jupiter will show how your husband will be. Some astrologers will say that it can just show your spouse or significant other because it doesn't necessarily just go to one gender because we have a lot of different there's a lot of different ways that people identify. So it's not necessarily husband and wife, it's more of your spouse, significant other, long term partner. So let's say Jupiter and Aries, and you're thinking about your significant other. They can be a very extroverted person. They could be like the life of the party wherever they go. And they could also be bold. They could be very into sports. They can have some type of military background. Maybe they were in the military. One of their parents were in the military, or they're thinking about going to the military. Something in that instance or that area. And they could also come off as aggressive and selfish, more about the self because Aries is the sign of the self. It's the first sign of the zodiac. So, of course, there are going to be some things where it's going to think about just self because it is the opposite of Libra, or the sister sign of Libra. And Libra is all about others, Aries is all about the self. And also, like I was saying, Jupiter is about expansion. So, too much of anything is not a good thing. So, just also keep that in mind. Like somebody with Jupiter and Aries, they might enjoy something like working out. Don't do it too much to where you're tearing stuff or breaking stuff or just harming yourself or get into an unhealthy weight or anything like that. But yeah, so if you have Jupiter and Aries, I want to know what you did or did not resonate with. And also, let me know if I miss anything. Y'all have a good one.